Hey man, you see it, man. You see what it is, man. It's that You Heard podcast. Shout out to that logo in the corner over there, man. Shout out to our boy AB, man. That shit looks crazy. What's going on, Joe? We back in
Fresh
our
off the
regular
road,
surroundings, man.
fresh off the
Yeah,
road,
man.
man. Fresh off the weekend. Great weekend, man, with the Canes fan, man. Great
Yeah.
weekend. We're gonna talk about it, man.
Yeah, man. Let's get into this intro, man. So much happened, man. Got to recap
Yeah.
the whole weekend and some spring game, man. You already know what it is. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the You Heard podcast.
I'm hurt, dog.
Ben and Joe break down all things Miami Hurricanes football.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Hell no.
From hot topics to pre- and post-game analysis.
Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
You heard.
I put my heart in this, dog.
Hey, man, you see what it is, man. What's going on, Big Joe? How you doing, brother? Hey, man, it was good to meet you this weekend, man. I mean, we talked,
Yeah, nobody know, man. A lot of people don't know, man. The first time me and Ben met was this weekend. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. I pulled up on him. You know, he was sitting in his truck like it was sweet. You know what I mean? He wasn't aware of the surroundings, man. You know what I mean?
I was locked in. I was like, yo, where you at, fam? It was like, you was right behind me. Yo, we ain't gonna say that place by name, but we're just gonna say like this. It wasn't a good recommendation. You know what I mean? Like,
it might have been an off night. It might have been an off night.
Yeah, it might have been an off night. I did end up having those wings they were talking about. I brought some from my pops and
triple threat.
Yeah, the triple threats weren't bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll give them a little bit, but yeah, man, I left. I didn't like that 20%. I'm gonna leave it at that. I didn't like that. I didn't like that 20%. I thought that was a little disrespectful to assume that you did that well. But yeah, man.
Facts.
Fam, it was nice meeting your family, man. Your daughter's a trip, man.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Your wife is hilarious, man. So it was dope, man. Listen, obviously the Caneswear thing was crazy. And we'll get into that, man. But we got a special drop in, man. So we're just gonna jump right into this, man. We got the big homie, man. Hey, we got a Zubi on the show, man.
What's going on?
What's going on, Zoop?
How we doing? Man,
chilling.
The hardest working man under 30. Under 30. The hardest working man.
Yeah, we don't know the age, right?
I appreciate it, guys.
How you doing, man?
Hey, fam, it was nice. Yeah, man.
It's good. It's busy, man. It's been a busy few days since the spring game. Busy spring, just getting these recruits going. And it's exciting too. It's fun. It's real fun.
Yeah, we met Zubi. We met Zubi for the first time in person too, man. You know, we linked up with a lot of great people, man. So Zubi, man, we got a couple over the weekend, right? We hearing a couple. There's some more, about possibly about to drop off. Can you talk about Dylan Day real quick?
Yeah, so Dylan Day is out of Southern Lab in Louisiana, Baton Rouge guy. He was one of the first guys Lance Guidry offered when he got hired at Miami. He was recruiting him really, really hard at Marshall, and you can see why. He's a 6 foot, 5'11" safety. His coach thinks he's going to project at nickel. His coach actually at Southern Day, forgot his name, but was a Division I coach at Texas Southern, Jackson State before Dion got there. So he's been around Division I level guys, and he thinks this kid is a gem. He's a steal. Watched his tape. I was kind of unsure because obviously when you see a guy, no stars, nothing like that, everyone's, a bit concerned. But you put on his tape and you're like, okay, you can see why this kid might be, having offers from Baylor, Miami, and a few other, Power 5 programs. So I like Dylan Day. Obviously, he's not, Zaquan Patterson or a 5-star guy that the Miami fans will hope for, but this is a guy Lance Guidry really likes. And I feel like when you're trying to build up a program, it's kind of more about the fit of the players rather than you bring a 5-star guy that doesn't fit the system or doesn't want to be there, doesn't necessarily fit what you're trying to build. So I really like this pickup for Miami with Dylan Day. He's getting his rankings updated with On3 and all the other recruiting sites. So I think expect by the end of the cycle, this kid could be a 4-star or a very high 3-star that Miami picks up. So I like the pickup so far.
Yeah, dope.
It seems like this with the Judd pickup, and it seems like they're going for fit and culture and mentality and like that, those extra conversations, right? Not just like the metrics. Because if you go by like was it Ruben Bain was a 4-star last year, and we saw Friday night, that's criminally underrated, right? Yeah. Like we'll talk, But I was asking Jordan, I just randomly wanted to ask you. I don't know if you could tell me, man, like after a kid commits to Miami, has that star gone up? You know what I mean? Like he's a 0-star, whatever. Just like, has it happened? Like, I'm just asking in general, man. Like, I wonder about that.
So with this kind of situation, he's going to get more recognition after he's committed to the University of Miami. But in other scenarios, sometimes it's like, I'm not saying for my side or any other sides, but like sometimes when a guy's, you might see their rankings dip a little bit or go up. Like it just fluctuates. Really, it's all. A lot of people think like guys like me or Steven have any say with the stars. We have nothing to do with any of the rankings. There's probably 2 or 3 guys at every company that deals with that big stuff. So whatever they think goes when people commit. Say it's up to them. They could have made me a 1,000-star commit when I was in high school if they wanted to, but it's all up to those guys up top.
Yeah,
I feel you.
All right, so yeah, we had Chance. Mm-hmm. You know, we kind of, you know, we kind of knew that was happening
earlier in the day, yeah.
And you know, we're definitely not here to name drop or mess up people's surprises. Smoke, right? So hearing T.A. Cunningham smoke, you know what I mean? Is there any other like surprises that you can see over the next week that fans may not even be expecting?
I wouldn't necessarily say surprises because most of the guys that are kind of slowly but surely turning into guys Miami has really been, in contact with that fans know about, that we've written plenty of stories about. But you mentioned T.A. Cunningham. The thing that surprised me was just the connection Cristobal is building with those guys on the West Coast, with Cunningham, with the modern day guys, with Elijah Rushing out of Phoenix. I feel like with those big guys in the trenches, Miami's not really recruiting in this the East Coast or anything like that. They're going out west for those guys. So I feel like with Cunningham, that might be a guy that, everyone knows that the smoke is kind of, hey, this might be our guy, moves. They're saying he might, transfer over and play in South Florida. So that'll be big for them. Justin Scott is another guy. He was in Miami for the entire week. He's a huge guy that's really liking Miami right now. So there's a few guys in the trenches that I really like, but there might be some other surprises coming up this week that people really like as well. But we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. We got when we were chopping it up at a spring game before the game. We saw Justin Scott walking. I was like, who was this grown man? Kids, it's a grown ass man, dog. Like kids like 17. Maybe 16 right now. I was like, that's Justin Scott. I was like, man, he could walk on the field right now.
I was gonna say it's just funny. You can see like the different caliber between like a 5-star and a 4-star. Like I see Justin Scott, I'm like, okay, I can see why people think he's gonna be an NFL draft pick. And then you see like a 4-star defensive end. He's a good looking kid, but he's not like Justin Scott or there's another kid, Kamario Franklin, that was on campus. It's like, wow, this kid looks like a grown man and he's 16.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man.
Kamario Franklin is a problem. Buddy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he's a guy. He's a guy.
He's a guy, man. Speaking of a guy, man, we got another big commit this past weekend. We talked about it, you know what I'm saying? Like with Chance Robinson. Obviously, we kind of like me and Joe literally had an interaction, right? Like, but we didn't want to, you know what I'm saying, have that whole moment. But with his commit, was that like the first domino to be like, okay, now it's starting the wheels are starting to burn now we're starting to get moving? Like it seemed like Mario and the staff, Coach Cristobal and the staff were like, hey man, we got to focus on this right now. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like let's focus on spring game, on spring practice, and all you guys that want to commit, like let's hold off on it, let's make some things happen. Was that the first thing, the first domino to fall, you think? Obviously now, but
I think so. I think I would say Judd kind of put the car in drive and Chances slammed on the gas pedal and, got it going. I feel like in these coming days, coming weeks, you're going to start seeing, I would say 2 to 3 more commitments. Obviously, don't quote me on because, a lot of things can happen over the next few days or next few weeks. Right. But I do think guys are starting to see, okay, Miami's building that class. Just like you saw it with FSU. I think they picked up, before Lil-Wayne, they picked up 1 guy. And then since then, I think they've added 2 or 3 more guys in the class. So when guys see other guys start saying, all right, I'm pulling the trigger, I'm committing, it's like, all right, maybe I should just let me start joining the wave right now. I'm seeing all this hype on Twitter. I'm seeing the fans engaging. I think it's my time to be that guy next to start building on the class. And when I interviewed Judd a couple of days ago, I did a one-on-one with him. He was like, hey, now that, Miami has their quarterback, I'm their quarterback, I think guys are going to start saying, hey, they got their guy. They got a guy that can throw to me. They got a guy that, is going to score touchdowns for me. They got this guy. They got that. He said maybe hopefully my commitment kind of gets the ball rolling. It kindly did with Chance and now with Dylan. So I think in the next coming weeks, he's going to pick up more and more steam. I know before in like late March, everyone's like, no, Miami doesn't have a commit yet. Miami doesn't have a commitment. Everyone's like, it's going to come eventually, guys. It's going to come. So I think the ball is rolling for Miami and Cristobal is getting things done right now.
Yeah, it kind of puzzles me how you can look at Coach Cristobal and whatever you want to say about him, game day, coaching, man, whatever. If that's your knock, recruiting should not be a knock. Like recruiting, that's what he does. Like, if anything, if you want to say anything negative, it shouldn't be about recruiting. He's shown time and time again that he recruits with the best of them, so I don't understand the knock on him with that.
Yeah, I feel like last year should be a good indication of we shouldn't worry about recruiting. Obviously, down the stretch he started this guy. So I feel like you said, recruiting should be the last thing fans worry about with Mario Cristobal.
Facts. So I think we spoke about this kid a few weeks ago. Last time you were on here, Ricky Knight. He was there. Was he at the spring game?
He was at the spring game. Yeah, he was there.
Okay. Talk about him real quick.
With him, I like Ricky. Like you said, we spoke about him a few weeks ago when he was just kind of becoming a name, picking up on that 2024 cycle. Now everybody knows who he is. I think this is still a real big battle between Florida State and Miami. Florida State was the first school that offered him. Miami was the third, and since then he's at Florida State, he's at Miami, he's at Florida State, he's at Miami. So I feel like Florida State is the biggest competition for Miami right now. I do give them a slight edge just because of that first offer thing. Now that's really big to kids. That was big with the to go back to the LaWayne McCoy situation. I saw an interview when he committed to Florida State. He's like, Florida State was the first school to bring me on campus, let me put on all the gear. So you see, like now with these 2024 kids, 2025 kids, that first impression is always really, really big. And Florida State did, beat everybody on offering Ricky Knight. But right now, I think it's a really tight battle between Florida State and Miami that can go either way.
It's April, right? Like we talk about it all the time. Like it's April, a lot of things can change. But it feels like maybe because it's the first year that like we're focused on is obviously doing the content, but like it feels like it's starting to heat up a lot now. Like I remember last year it didn't heat up till Francis, right? Francis dropped his commit and like 4th of July weekend. So now it's April. It's like, is everything just speeding up faster because signing days a little bit earlier this year and things like that? Like people just want to get the stuff out of the way. Is that what you're hearing when you talk to the recruits?
So I feel like it comes in waves. So like obviously when I spoke with guys in January and February before when the dead period was there where coaches couldn't contact players. So like, yeah, we're gonna wait till we get on campus in spring ball. Maybe we want to get on spring ball, announce my commitment, things like that. So I feel like with spring ball coming to an end, all the guys have had the chances to visit different programs, see what schools they like, see what schools they don't like. That's kind of set us off the first wave, which kind of lasts, I think, to like I'd say April to June, and then kind of quiet in the beginning of June, and then OV start coming in. So you see around June 15th, June 20th, end of June, July, the OV weekends, you'll see things start picking back up in July. Like you mentioned, that was when Francis committed. Another wave of commits are going to start coming in. Then it's going to die down again until August, September, pick back up again. So it's just going to be waves and waves, different times of the year, different things programs are doing around the country that's getting kids on campus and having them see coaches face-to-face, because that's really when, things start to really happen. With Chance, he was on campus, I think, 3 times the week he committed. He was at practice, all that stuff. So just having the opportunity to be around the guys, hey, this is the school for me. I feel like that's when the waves come in, when there's things going on campus and things like that.
With the new rule changing of unlimited OVs, right? This is going to be a different time now. So now with unlimited OVs, is it going to be harder to predict like where a guy's going? Because I know you can revisit the same school. NCAA dropped like in the middle of the week. Revisit the same school if the coach changed either the position coach or a head coach though. I was confused about that.
I believe if the head coach changes, go back to that school. But with that, it's unlimited for the players, but it's still limited for the school. So on Miami's concern or Florida's concern or Florida's concern, they still have a limited amount of OVs they can give up. But for the kids, these kids can go to 1,000 different schools if they wanted to. So I feel like that rule change doesn't have the biggest effect on recruiting. Just thinking, these guys are.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's commit.
We got breaking news. We got breaking news on the show.
Yeah.
We got
breaking news.
Yeah. No breaking news right now. Just going crazy with But yeah, with that OV change, I feel like that doesn't have the biggest, effect on this school. Now he has 1,000 OVs he can go to. But with the school, the rule still changes. You have a certain amount that you can give out.
Okay. Cool. What was the you was in the in the room with the recruits, man, during the spring game. What was the overall feel about the spring game from the recruit side?
These kids were everyone's really excited because a lot of these kids, like we all know, Miami's been recruiting for some while. Some of them were at the spring game last year, and we spoke with JoJo Churter. He's like, this looks like a completely different team from last year to this year, from the receivers to the offense. He says the offense looks much more exciting. And hearing that from a guy, if you ever watched the interview with JoJo's a real, he's a serious guy. If he gets a smile, if you get JoJo to crack a smile, you did something right or something's good's going on. So
business
I think
guy.
There's only been 2 times I've ever seen JoJo smile. It was after the spring game and when he dropped his top 5 and I asked him why Miami was in it. So just seeing that, I feel like that was a good indication of the overall impression of the recruits. He was happy. Most of the guys I talked to were happy. It was cool. When Chance was walking out, everyone was clapping it up for him. It was just a really good mood. And I think it really helped that Chance committed in front of all these top guys in the country, him being a top guy in the country, saying, hey, stay home, or I'm staying home. I want the rest of you guys from California, from any coast, anywhere, to come join me and start building something special here. So it was a really, really good vibe. And the spring game was a good game too. I know we saw improvements on the offense side of the ball. We saw some freshmen sticking out. Now that's another thing I want to say. Having Ruben Bain have 3 sacks, 4 sacks, Ray go over for 150 yards was the best thing Mario Cristobal could have done in front of, because I think he had 4 and 5 stars defensive line recruits and a couple of wide receiver guys. So I feel like just the performance on the field, Chance committing, everything was just a perfect, mix of everything for these recruits during the spring game.
I like that. Like we watched every snap, right? I like that. Me and Joe were talking, Joe was taking notes. I started taking notes. I like that it started out like there was that part of me was like that I was worried, but I like that it started out kind of slow and then it just picked up and the lights came like on offense. I was like, what's going on right now? And then all of a sudden it just took off. But I've never this is my first spring game, right? But I've never seen a player the caliber of Ruben Bain where like he hasn't even started to like scratch the surface. But then right next to him, because first of all, double numbers are my numbers, right? 4499 for me, where Ahmad Moten, I think, doesn't get talked. Ahmad Moten was flying around that field. Like I rewatched the game yesterday when I got home and today. And I was like, yo, Moten is in the backfield just like Bain. Bain just has to be is a little bit slimmer, a little bit quicker to the. But man, I was like, I don't even recognize this team. Trying not to tell lies on the show. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to get all hyped up.
Please not yet. Please not yet.
It's too early. It's April 16th. It's way too early for that. But I was just watching that Kiko Maigoa stop when he like flew. I was like, who are we? What? I can't remember. I can't remember the last time we seen that. And then Joe brought it up. I hadn't even thought about that. There's recruits watching that, right? So take me into the room, man. So Chance, you're saying Chance, like openly, like said it out loud, like in the room, like, yo, man, I'm committing, or like he just dropped it on.
So with Chance, it was after the spring game. He had a little thing with Mario on the field, and then so you remember the recruiting section? He walked back from the field into the section. When he walked in, everybody starts clapping up, like, woo, everybody's throwing up to you. So it was a pretty cool scene. Obviously, everyone knew he committed because social media and the word, got around the stadium pretty fast. So when he walked back in and when he walked out, everybody was clapping him up, shaking his hand, congratulating. So it's pretty cool to see that.
So he committed on the field with Coach Cristobal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they was everyone. They pretty much knew what was going on, but then now it's kind of like all right, this is real. It's happening.
He should have grabbed the mic or something, man. I mean, for real.
That would have been dope.
Yeah, for real.
What you got, Joe?
I got just one more, man. I wanted to ask about your feeling with was Zaquan Patterson at the game?
I do not believe Zaquan was there.
Okay. You got a feeling about him or any intel on that?
So with Zaquan, he's always, since first time I interviewed last August when I first started working for CaneSport, I asked him, what's up with Miami? How you feel about Miami? He's like, listen, I'm from South Florida. Miami's always going to be in my top 3, no matter what, no matter ifs, ands, or but. I'm always going to consider Miami to the very end. And he's kept true to his word. Obviously, even though Miami had the season that they had, he's always said, hey, Miami's still one of my top schools. Miami's still one of my top schools. I feel like they're doing, good with him, but they just got to keep it going. Obviously, he's getting recruited. Schools like Georgia, Michigan are on his tail a lot. So it's going to be hard to compete with those big guys. But I feel like Miami has a home field advantage with Zoe. Obviously, losing DVD, a guy that he played with growing up, that coached him growing up, was kind of, a little hard for Miami. But I don't think it's as big as people think, because obviously DVD is not the only guy talking to Zaquan. Mario Cristobal is heavily involved. Lance Guidry's heavily involved. The whole coaching staff's heavily involved. But I feel like right now Miami's is in a good spot with Zaquan. Hopefully, they need to get him back on campus. I know they're having a couple barbecues, a couple family events going on. So just getting him back on campus, like I said, once these kids see the culture, what's going around in Miami, I feel like that's when they say, okay, hey, this is the squad I want to be at. Like I said with Chance, he was on campus 3 times in a week before he committed. So just getting these guys on campus is super, super important. And I feel like if Miami can continue to do that and take advantage of him living 20 minutes away from the school, they'll be in a good place to the very end with him.
So we're gonna talk about it more in another episode, man. I just want to ask you real quick, what is going to be the impact of the departure of DVD, man, to FIU?
Like I said, losing a guy like DVD, it's never easy to say, hey, we'll just come find a guy. Obviously, born and raised in Miami, he's connected with Miami. All these guys. It's a big loss, honestly. But like I said. He wasn't the only guy at University of Miami recruiting guys. Obviously, he was a big part of the recruitment. It sucks to see him go, but like Miami has to kind of refocus. Hey, we've got other coaches that can recruit as well, if not better than DVD. Like I said, I don't feel like it's a huge blow for the program, but I do feel like it sucks to see him leave.
All right, man. That's crazy.
Well, Zubi, man, thank you, man, for popping on last minute, man. We appreciate all you do, man. Your work is impeccable, man. We appreciate that, man.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you for having me on today.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, it was cool meeting you, man. It was like seeing family, man. It was like we already knew each other, man. So that was dope, man. All right, Zubi, man. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk again, man. We always talk.
Thank you, guys.
All right, man. Nice. Oh, man, that was dope, man.
Nice.
That guy always comes through and drops some gems, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, man.
Let's hit this spring game, man.
Let's hit this spring game, man. All right, man. Look, let's catch all up on what's popping, man. If you watch us live on Friday at Caneswear, first of all, man, shout out to Brett and those guys, man. We dealt with some technical difficulties, man. Try to make the best of it. It's our first one, not gonna be the last. But for me, man, it was motivating, man. It was inspiring. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, like I always tell you, man, like we're the young ones in this. You know what I mean? We're new to the game, and the love and support that we got from our Canes family, man, was dope. Couldn't thank them enough, man. From Dono to Rasta to Flo to Steve-O coming through to Pedro coming through just to hang out, man. Just to be with the fam, that was dope, man. So, man, greatly appreciate it. Obviously, we talked to Coach Hayes later on in the day. Yeah, man, it was a really good experience, man. I really enjoyed it. We definitely gonna do that again. We're already talking with Brett. What you got, Joe?
Yeah, definitely, man. Same thing, man. Just humbling and blessed to have that experience, man. When we put it together, you never know what's gonna happen. We could, thank God we weren't rained out or anything, but you never know who's gonna come through. But I knew Pedro been rocking with me since I first came down there, man. You know what I mean? He looked out for me, man. Flo, I had dinner. Like Flo's the first one to take me to Flanagan's, matter of fact. You know what I mean? That's the first time I had rib rolls. You know what I mean? Okay. I was with Flo, man, and a couple other people, man. So yeah, it's just always love, man, and that's how the Cane fam should be. Yeah. That's how it should be, period, in life. But you know what I mean? This is a tight-knit community, man, and the fans are crazy from, everybody walking in the Caneswear, seeing us, stopping to give us a pound, to when we went to the field and we was just walking the parking lot and everybody, yo, Joe, man, what up, baby? I watched the show, blah, blah, blah. It was just all love, man. And it was a fantastic experience, man. We appreciate it so much.
Man. It was first of all, shout out to all the people that said what's up to us, man. Let us know your Twitter handles, man, because we don't 95% of y'all, we don't know your real names, fam. So when you come up to us, man, it's, you know what I'm saying, let us know. We got like something, we'll be better prepared, because it was this time it was like Joe knows everybody, right? But this time, like being recognized for the content and what we doing. You know what I'm saying, we'll take some pictures, you know what I'm saying, so we can tag it, put y'all up, man, because y'all show us love, man. And I'm saying y'all the reason why we do it, man. So it was crazy to be recognized. Like I was telling my wife, I was like, they know who we were. Like, even like you see the numbers, you know what I'm saying, like the views and the subscribers constantly going up and up. But you know, to you see it in person, it's like, yo, that's crazy, man. Wait a minute, so that was a dope experience, man. Having the interaction with AB, I forgot to mention him, man. You know what I'm saying, the conversations we had with some certain people was really dope, man. So it was cool, man. And we're definitely gonna do it again. We got some plans. You know what I'm saying, me and Joe talking about it, but we ain't gonna let that out the bag yet, because you know that's a ways away. But yeah, man, it was a really cool experience, man. And just walking around, running into Zubi, seeing Dono again, you know what I'm saying, people showing love, wanting to take pictures with us. Like, fam, we one of y'all, man. And I told all the guys, all the content creators and Canes guys, man, I was like, look, man, this is our green tree. Like, this isn't a competition. We're not trying to beat y'all out for nothing, man. We're not trying to, you know what I'm saying, we all have our own lane, man. We all gonna win. We all gonna eat. And it was dope, man. It was dope. I appreciate every single one of it. Shout out to Brett and Jeff at Caneswear.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. We got a chance to meet Coach Hayes too, man. He was running late, you know what I mean? But we caught up with him. We got on the live with him, man, and he was out there working. He out there working. He got the live set up. He looking like he working on a news station, man.
For real, man. He was waiting on Channel 7. Like, he was like, you know, I feel like he needed that delay. You know what I mean? Like, oh, back to you, Joe.
Yeah.
So he fam, watched that video back. Oh, I couldn't stop laughing. Fam, like the gnats were all over us, yo, in that video, son. The whole time you're like swiping that air. My wife was like, what the hell is Joe doing? I was like, oh my God. I was like, son, the whole time I'm going like this, I was like, yo, people gonna think I'm on that white,
on that powder,
man.
You know, it felt like the reporter, man, the kid, the dude in South Carolina who was this country ass. Yeah,
he's all professional shit. Oh man, that shit was crazy. So you're like this, man. Like you're behind Coach Hayes, just going like this. Oh, that shit was too. Like, what the hell is Joe doing? Because I see him because I know they were there. Oh, that shit was crazy, man. But yeah, crazy, appreciate it.
And I want to special shout out to JD, man. Yo, JD, man.
Facts, bro.
Yo, he's probably the most positive person. I never see him not smiling. He always has a smile on his face, man. He always shows love. He feeds, like, as soon as you come in there, yo, what up, baby? He go get something to eat. He got the drinks. Yo, man, JD, man, shout out, man. Metro Rail man. Boys, man. Yo, oh man, that guy's a positive energy, man. I love it,
man. The energy from him was crazy, man. Shout out to Bo. That was out there.
Yeah, that's how we met Bo, man. That was great, man.
Son, he's doing that ibis on the canvas right there in front of you with the spray paint. Like the energy of it, like it was weird because like you go to football games, you see like rival fans or like the other team's fans or whatever. This was all Canes. You know what I mean? Like this was just all Canes fans, so the energy was different. You know what I mean? Like you could.
My bad.
No, we felt like a lot. It was like going into it though, like you could sense a lot of like nervous energy because of like how bad it was last year. Everybody was like, please show us something. You know what I mean? Like not quite knowing when to go in for the hopscotch.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, shout out to JD, man, was a positive dude. We're gonna talk with JD one of these days, man. We gotta have it.
We gotta get JD on. Word.
We gotta get JD on, man. So yeah, man, it was cool, man. What were you gonna say, Joe?
And we finally met John, man. John Cafecitos and Can. We finally met John, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at the flow thing. Yeah, man.
Yes, man. I never, you know, and John is just like John on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Like serious, methodical. You know what I mean? Like Very, very, very tough. That was a cool dude, man. Shout out to all the Flow Media, man, for all the love that, you know what I'm saying. Shout out to Max, shout out to all those guys, man. Shout out to Jeff again, because we saw him at the at the tailgate, man. All right, man. Let's get into this. All right, let me ask you like this, because we didn't talk about it, because we even at the game we don't talk about the pod before the pod. What were your thoughts going into the game? Like, I know we talked about we did a pod that day, but like me and you didn't specific. You know what I'm saying? Like, what were your thoughts? What did you want to see? Who did you want to see? What were your thoughts going into it, man?
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect it to look the same. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not, because
yep.
You know, two totally different systems, you know.
Yep.
I wanted to see the young guys, man. I wanted to see the young guys. I wanted to see up front, both trenches, both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wanted to see how TVD is acclimating to the new system, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we got to see all of that, man. Of course, it's vanilla. You know, we're not going to get everything we're going to see in the fall. But, yeah, I think I saw exactly what I wanted to see Saturday night. Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to see an intensity, a energy that wasn't there at all last year. And I saw that immediately on that Kiko my goal tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Where, like, look, man, obviously it's vanilla. The defense mostly knows the plays. You know what I'm saying? They've been practicing against the same offense and all that stuff. But just to see it, because every spring, every defense knows every offensive play. Right? Like, there's not any. So when it looks bad, it's really bad. Because it's like, you know what they about, you know what I'm saying? You know how their lineup is. You know what they're going to run in this with this package, yada, yada. Because they're only going to give you a certain amount of plays. So with that Kiko, right? And the trenches is where everything is made. Like, it's how any play that could get executed on offense, it's got to be the trenches. I thought the defensive line was, whew. Something like, I thought, like, Ruben Bain's going to get the highlights because of the 3 sacks, probably 4, closer to 5, depending on when they call a sack. But I thought Ahmad Moten was special. I thought Cyrus Moss, you could see the Jason Taylor coaching on him already. You know what I'm saying? Relentless pursuit. Shout out to Coach Ferg on Twitter, man. He Chalupa posted a highlight of the game. And he was like, yo, man, but everybody's pursuing. You got to see Bain on the backside.
Yeah.
Bain was up. You know what I'm saying? Bain was already starting to go to cut off the angle. I was like, holy shit. Like, I love that. Like, I love somebody pointing something out there like, oh, I didn't even see that the first time, because you just see, you know what I'm saying, you see the initial bust through. It's not like, and if you go back and watch, when you go back and watch the game, and if y'all listen and you want to go back and watch it, at like the 27th minute, I watched it on YouTube, Ahmad Moten makes a swim move, and he's in the backfield, I think before Matt Lee even gets out of his stance. And Matt Lee's a monster. Matt Lee looked like he ran 18 miles when we saw him after the game. Hair greasy as hell, just looking a mess. So I saw what I wanted to see. X, yo, man, shout out to X and his fam, man. X showed out. Jacoby George, I apologize. You know what I mean? Like, for all that, man. But yeah, it was a crazy experience, man. It was dope. Yeah, I saw what I wanted to see.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get into these positives and negative, man. We got, you know, positive and negative lists. Let's chop that up a little bit. Chop this fable, you know what I mean? So you got your notes. I know you got your notes.
I got my notes, man.
Yeah, I want to start with just the obvious, right? So Cam is Cam. No, let's start offense and defense. All right. So let's start on defense. Cam is Cam, right?
Cam is Cam.
Cam is Cam. Cam catches flying around, making plays, making tackles. You know what I mean? Cam is that guy.
Cam is Cam. Yeah.
I mean,
Markeith, though.
Markeith Williams. Okay, that's a positive for you. Yep.
That's a positive for him.
Markeith.
I liked his aggression. I liked his reading the plays. I liked that he was, if not the first one there, he was the second person to finish off a tackle. I mean, if we're gonna go down the line, Jaden Harris, that was a big positive.
Yeah, I got Jaden Harris on there, man. Jaden Harris was flying around. He was it looked like the defense was playing man most of the night. I didn't see much zone at all. So they were locking up. And the corners in general, right? So the DBs in general, even when receivers made plays, the DBs were there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They, it's just about turning your head or, making a play on the ball, but they were there every single time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but Jaden Harris was flying around, man. I like watching.
Another positive. See if we Kiko. I thought Kiko Mangoa was a positive.
There was a play we were talking about. 15 Jacoby George caught a screen, maybe something like that, down the sideline, man. And I'm watching Kiko chase him down, man. And he caught him probably about 20, 25 yards downfield. That was very impressive. Very impressive.
I remember you were hyped for that one.
Yeah,
you were like, yo, that was Kiko.
That's impressive, man.
That's impressive. Man. Look, man, like it's because we haven't seen it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like usually when somebody gets out, that's it. Like there's a pursuit, but there isn't an intention. You feel what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm gonna chase you because like I don't want to look bad on tape, but like you could tell, you know what I mean? Like, bro, like I know you faster than that. Like I know you faster than that.
Yeah.
So Kiko was impressive, man. I thought you want to go with let me hear your negatives on defense.
Hold on, let's finish with the pot. Let's finish with the pot. Yeah. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, I know, son. Yes. Look,
it's not just all right.
He's supposed to be in high school.
It's not,
in high school. My
Hurricane Bane, Ahmad Moten,
son.
Najee Kelly, Jaden Wayne,
Cyrus
Moss.
Yeah.
Fam, like what are we doing here, B? Oh man.
Listen, man. Look, I've told you since we first started, defensive line pushing the line of scrimmage is the shit that gets me hyped. Fam, like that line, Ahmad Moten, like I saw his huddle, right? Like from last year. I seen, like, I know sound like, but I knew, but his movement is so much more efficient, right? Like when you the best, one of the best players on the field, you can get by with a lot. But fam, like the swim move, I'm gonna send you this timestamp so you can see that swim move he does. He's over Matt Lee. And he's in that backfield so quick. It's when TVD should have definitely got sacked, but they, you know what I'm saying, they slow down. Like TVD should have got marked on that hit because like if it was real, like he was, and I was like, holy shit. And I told you 99 my favorite number, so I'm already completely biased. To that whole shit. But seeing him, because those are our spots of weakness, right? That we say that we constantly get told. And yes, Ahmad Moten's a young guy, hasn't filled out to what he's gonna be. You know what I mean? Still all that, yada yada, right? But to see those flashes, to be like, oh, okay, it's not that. You know what I mean? But like you still need an older guy above that, so Ahmad has the time to develop and doesn't have to feel forced to be that guy.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's 19, 20 years old, however old he is. But fam, Ruben Bain, just, and what I love about it is you could tell all other people on that line know it, but they'll be like, hey man, you're not gonna leave me behind. Like Cyrus, like, you know what? Cyrus Moss deserves some flowers because he could have folded. He could have been like, yo, man, I'm out of here. So when Cyrus Moss came out there, it looked like a baby JT. Had the hand out, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of the chest, you know what I'm saying, pushing the guy back, which we saw them working on in the pregame drills. Yep. Fam, like I got video of that and
ripping. Yeah, he dipping and ripping. You know what I mean? He hesitant. He had all of the pass rush moves on display, man. And the Jason Taylor effect is showing up already. You know what I mean?
Already.
Showing up already. Yeah. Liked it.
Yeah, man.
So all right. So yeah, we can get some negatives on defense.
Injuries and depth. When it wasn't those guys, there was a difference. The holes were a little bit bigger when they try to run. There was more time. There's the numbers aren't there, is what I'll say. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
I don't want to point anybody out because that's not what we do, but like there was not like a huge fall, but like a noticeable difference from the ones to the next ones, right? But there, I mean, we had like 20 players injured.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We're missing a lot. You know, we were missing a lot, especially up front. You know what I mean? A lot of people out. You know, so but still, yeah, definitely quality depth. We have to continue to stack, especially at the D tackle position, man. And D line, you know, because you want to rotate, you want to be at least 10 deep on that D line, man. Quality,
absolutely.
Quality 10, you know, so you can remain fresh. I did see, you know, with the positives, man, I did see, you know, at times when the
negatives.
When the O-line was able to climb to the backers, you know, there was a few times where backers had issues getting off blocks or maybe were out of position. And it opened up some running lanes, you know what I mean? And like we mentioned, the DBs, they were with the receivers, but, you know, not getting the head around, you know, not playing the ball, you know, that can definitely be worked on, you know. Yeah, definitely. But what I did notice, and back to a positive, what I didn't mention, tackling just seemed better. More secure, like just overall, tackling just seemed better. Yeah.
Just like the wrapping, right? Like the wrapping on a leg or you know what I mean, like around the body. Just that was something that we didn't see much of last year. That seemed like a point of emphasis. And the attack on the ball, where it wasn't like, again, like if it wasn't this guy missed the tackle, that guy's gone for 80 yards. The next guy was right there.
Yeah, right, like that next corner. Definitely more of a game tackling mentality. More people to the ball. Definitely at least 2-3 people to the ball every single time. Yep.
No, and you right what you said about the corners. Like the first drive of the game, Devontae Brown makes a really good play in the corner, but he never turns his head around. He just waited for Kobe Young to bring the ball down. He batted it out of his hands. Still works. Still in a completion. But I don't remember. I don't remember a moment where got to watch it back again. But I don't remember a moment when the corners did turn their head around, like that on that Emory Williams big completion. Besides the last one, he got that ball because the corner didn't turn his turnaround. If the corner turns his head around, that's really an interception.
Yeah,
because it was on the you know what I'm saying, at least a batted ball. So there was that issue.
And there were a few drop picks as well. You know, a few definitely should have been picked. There was a few drops there, but you know, So we move to the offensive side of the ball, man. Positives.
I thought TVD looked good.
Yeah,
I thought TVD looked good. I thought TVD looked in command. I think the stats were obviously all unofficial, and I'm saying you got to like count them out. It was like 22 or 29. I thought he got the ball out fast. I thought he looked more comfortable. This is the offense that he works well in, right? Like, I thought he looked lighter. I thought he looked better, moving, running around a little bit. Obviously, didn't want him running around at all. I would have felt better if they had like cones around him. You know what I mean? Like, and just like a little tap on the shoulder, like that would have been a sack. But because I want to make sure that shoulder's good. Emery, I mean, if we go in position, I thought Emery looked good. You know what I mean? Definitely don't understand how. I'm just not gonna ever look at star ratings again. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never gonna use them as a measuring system of how that happens, because I don't know how that guy is supposed to be a 3-star. Like, I don't understand. Like, he seemed like he was going through his progressions.
Very comfortable.
Yeah. Ray. I mean, Ray. This is all you really got to say with that. I want to ask you, man. I don't know how to grade the offensive line, because all the hype went to the defensive line, and it seemed like the offensive line struggled a little bit. Like, couldn't really tell how much they ran the ball. I don't know if they ran the ball efficiently or how much they ran the ball. But I have a question mark on the offensive line.
Yeah.
As far as, like, I'm not that guy that, like, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, that he should have. I know how to analyze. Like, I'm not that guy, right? But I don't know how to grade that. So if you got any feedback on that, I'm more than happy to hear it, man. Because my whole thing is like, defense line completely dominated. Like, there should have been probably 12 sacks, really, if it was live. So you let me know.
We know. I think we Javion Cohen got hurt or tweaked something in pregame, so he wasn't out there. You know, so I think people had to move around a little bit, and I think on the O line you saw the freshmen at times be freshmen. You know what I mean? I saw Sampson, you know, some freshman moments. I saw Marigoa in some freshman moments, you know, and we saw a freshman be freshman. Jalen Rivers at tackle, you know, he's new to kind of new to the position, right? He new to the position. They left tackle at Miami, you know, so there were some moments, you know, but yeah, I would definitely, for me personally, I would definitely have, that's something you have to watch. Like, you can't, we watching live. We're not watching the old line. We're watching the, you know, totality. We see, you know, somebody get to the quarterback or whatever, but you got to actually turn on the film and watch that, you know. But
it's also very hard to watch in person. Like, you have to do a second one. It's like anybody who go, like, you have to have a very special eye to be like, oh, this is why that sack happened. You know what I mean? Like that, but that's for the professionals. That's for the big time.
Yeah,
like,
you have to be watching something specifically live. You know what I mean? Live in the stands, we're watching the game. You know what I mean? So yeah, once you know, break down, you know, on second, third, fourth watch, you see certain things. But the offense for TVD definitely, you know, he's in his element, man. He looked very, very polished. I think a couple throws were late. You know what I mean? He didn't throw with the anticipation I wanted to see on a couple throws, but you know, there were good throws. You know, so Jakari, you know, still got to work. You know, he still got to work. You know, he's still an athletic freak. When I was walking on campus Saturday morning, I saw him coming out, man. It's a big dude, man.
That's a big dude.
Big dude.
Let's have a little sidebar about that real quick.
Yeah.
If you were to rank them, right, you go 1, TVD, Emery 2, right? Like, not saying position as in, look, Emery's not going to take that spot over Jakari. Like, Emery has to sit, not just because, like, I don't want him to get freshmen shouldn't play. Freshman quarterbacks shouldn't play unless everybody ahead of them is trash, and that's not the situation here. So because everything was vanilla, right? You're asking a freak athlete in Jakari Brown to be like the other two quarterbacks. It's not. That's more to their skill set and not to his, right? Well, like, because you saw when he was able to run just a little bit, he gained, I think it was 12, like just 12 yards on nothing, just on size and athleticism, right? So that's what opens up his game. Like that's what JB to me, JB11 to me, man, is a guy that needs that first contact. You know what I mean? Like that first tackle, like, all right, now we playing football. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like just how he seems to me. I might be completely wrong, but it seemed like when that happened, he threw a ball on a slant that I looked over to you. I was I didn't even see the ball.
Good ball, yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I did. He threw. It was like a 11-yard pass. So, and he threw it perfectly where it needed to be. He threw that the one that was just a little bit past. Was that receiver Robbie that was coming over towards us?
So, yep.
Yes, he threw it only where his receiver could get it. So it's just little tweaks, right? It wasn't as bad as people make it out to be because you're comparing. You want Emery to be the next heir, the next guy. There'll definitely be a competition next year, but there's a factor that Jakari can bring that nobody else can, and I think it's hard to grade him in that setting. And that's not just saying that because, you know what I'm saying, I'm a Jakari guy and all that. And I'm not saying Jakari should be one. That's not ever been the conversation. But I think in that situation where you can't hit the quarterback, it's difficult for him to get in the flow of the game. When it's like, oh, just pick out your passes, but it's like, I can't do what I need to do. I can't even run. I don't even remember them having him roll out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what your thoughts are. We hadn't talked about that, and I thought about that to myself. I was like, what you think about that, man?
Yeah, I think yeah, definitely I definitely agree. I think with him, he has to hit the open guy. Like that's the issue I have. The wide open guy. Like he's inconsistent with those type of plays. You know what I mean? Because you know the play that gets pointed to at Clemson, right? You know, the wide open, X. You know what I mean? So, and it happened Saturday as well, a couple of times, you know. So you throw a good ball on the slant, you know, you hit, you know, a couple outs or whatever, but it's just the inconsistency on the guy who's wide open because your legs are your legs. Everybody knows about your legs. So everybody's going to have 8 people in the box, 10 people in the box, you know, when you're playing quarterback because they think you're going to run. There's going to be wide open people. There's going to be throws that you're going to have to make. So it's making those throws that need to get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
Everything else, he's an athlete, man. He's an athlete. I think sometimes he just rushes. I think his bottom half just doesn't do what it's supposed to do to make those throws. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, it's set like it's on the underthrow where he had 12 receiver Robbie down open and he underthrew him.
Yeah.
I think on that one, so open. It seemed like an arm throw. It didn't seem like he had set his feet. And I rewatched. He wasn't set. He just kind of like, I see him. So let me let it go. Yeah. So I see a lot of similarities with JC that we had on the show with that too, though. Like he just depending on the arm, like too much depending on the arm strength and not setting of the feet because it's like you're setting to me, then, like, what I'm just thinking right now is, like, the setting of the feet athletically is very different than the setting of the feet for a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have that tendency to want to go run, you're going to set your feet a little differently than how you have to set them to throw the ball. And I'm saying you got to see how that back ankle is.
Yeah.
What was your over? You know what I'm saying? What was your over? Shout out to Malik that we ran into, too, as well, by the way.
Yeah.
What was your – so coming out of the game, what was your feeling? Like what are positions of need? What's a position that you feel more comfortable with after having watched the game, and what you think about that?
Yeah, I think we need depth everywhere, right? So 100%. Receiver wise, man, I felt really good actually about the receiver position, man. They caught the ball. You know what I mean? I think Robbie had a drop. I think Ray had a drop.
Kobe Young had a drop.
But and all in all, we caught the ball. They made tough catches. Kobe Young looks different. Like I was wanting, that was one of my pregame things, right? I wanted to see how he looked as a receiver, not just a go get it guy. You know what I mean? As a receiver, is he coming out his breaks? Is he able to, create some separation? Blah blah blah. Kobe Young been working. Isaiah Horton been working. X always been working. You know what I mean? So. But I think we do need to build some, have some depth there. Tight ends, man. The young guys look good. Jackson Carver, Riley Williams, Skinner, Lil, they all look good, man. And we still got a Royo to come back, so they all
and
look
Cam
good.
McCormick.
Facts. Yep. Running backs look good, man. It was absolutely fantastic to see Don Chaney back there, man. Absolutely, man. Shout out to Don Chaney and his family, man. It was fantastic to see him back there, man. I loved watching him run. He looked good.
He looked good. He looked really good.
Parrish looked solid as usual. Man. So overall, offensively, I think I just like, I like the offense, I like the way they changed tempos too. Sometimes they went fast, they slowed it down. Sometimes, sometimes they went slow, blah, blah. I like that as well. So I think these next couple of months, we got.
This is where the money's made.
June, July. Oh, we got about 4 or 5 months, man. This is where this is where you make the money, man. This is where that bread is baked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think we can do a huge jump. And because it was such a positive, there was so many positive things, you can build off that. Your players are more excited. You know what I mean? Your coaches are seeing that, it's working. What we're doing is working. Let's keep going. We're going to go hard. They're going to go harder, man. So, I like it.
At the end of the game, after that obvious play call to Ray, you know what I'm saying? Let's keep it a buck. Like running quarters, but none of the safeties or corners move. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how you send you script the game to go home happy. That just makes sense.
Sure.
You can see the excitement. I think I remember vividly like Jaleel Skinner running to the 50-yard line and doing a little dance. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll get it together, all the position groups getting together with their coaches. The energy felt different. Like I don't know what the energy was like at last spring game. Can't speak to that. Last year. That's it, man. We're in the new spring, a new portal. It's it. There's no more. I'm not talking about any other administrations or any other staffs anymore. This is a new time now. You can see the energy. You can see the guys smiling and laughing. You know what I'm saying? We were right by where they're walking out, and we saw the fans. I'm saying taking pictures with them and doing their thing. You could tell there's like a almost joyfulness to them. You know what I mean? Like they just felt like, oh, let's get this ready. You see Daryl Porter on social media today, you know what I'm saying, hollering at, you know what I'm saying, trying to do some recruitment of his own with people that might be going in the portal. Like they're working differently now. But this right now when nobody's watching. There's no reporters talking about how you looked in practice, and it's just you and your teammates. This is when that culture gets built.
Yeah.
This right here. This Ray can't be the only one at the jugs machine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It can't just be 7. Like this got to be different now. This is where you show up in August for fall practice, different and ready. So for defense, I don't know how big Ruben Bain is gonna be in August. I felt more comfortable with the defense than I thought I was going to. Right, like you hear all the missing. Like, look, our 2 starting defensive tackles weren't there. Right, like JHH and LT. So that already gives me more. And then you got Horton coming in. So there's more depth there than we think. But what I think why Moton stood out to me so much was because we didn't hear much about him being talked about in the, you know what I'm saying? We heard little whispers here and there, but nothing really, you know what I mean? It was like, when Moton showed me, I was like, oh man, like this guy could be, he's big. Like that's a big man. That's a big young man. So I felt better about that.
Big and quick, boy.
Big and quick, man. Just an athlete. Like, I don't know his numbers, like whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can look at it, but man, that dude is massive. Ruben Bain, impressive. Jaden Wayne, impressive. And I'm just talking about the freshman. Najee Kelly, a grown man with a baby face. You know what I mean? Najee took out them and was like, that he is a young, that dude is young.
Yeah,
but
young.
Yeah. I thought the corners looked better. Please turn their head around. I thought Daryl Porter looked good. I thought Devontae looked good. I don't know how Corey gets back on the field over Kiko, but you got to give Kiko, you know what I'm saying, some blow. But yeah, man, I came out feeling pretty good. I'm not gonna get on here start telling lies. Obviously, we need depth all over the field. Like there was a bunch of times we saw people on the clear walk-ons when I'm like, oh, that's somebody's son, right? Sure. Like somebody's grandson. So
sure, yeah, man. You got James not playing, man. You got Chase Smith's out. You got JHH. You got Jafari Harvey out. You got LT out. You know what I mean? You got
Corey Flagg.
Corey Flagg was out. You got man. There's so many people, you know, that didn't see the field. And to speak on what you were speaking about earlier, just the joy, man. These young men, shout out to Wholesome. These young men, they need some successes. You know what I mean? They want to see some wins. They need some wins, man. They haven't been successful on the field in a long time. And like I always say, a lot of these young men, man, they come from successful high school programs. I used to say that all the time. Like my son in his high school career lost 2 games. You know what I mean? Like he lost 2 games in his high school career. Think about somebody like Ruben Bain. Like he won 4 chips, didn't he? 4 chips for all 4 years?
4 straight. All 4 years, yeah.
Damn, like you think he wants to come here and go 5-7, son? 7-5, 7-9. I can imagine the first time he loses a game. Like, what?
Oh, it's gonna be miserable.
What is this, my guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah. This ain't me.
These cats need success, man. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do in the classroom. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, you know, with my family, you know, practice. I need it to translate to the field, man. And it's and you can kind of tell that that's the mentality, man. Yeah. I can't. Not that I don't want to go 5-7 or I don't want to have a losing season. I can't. I can't have a losing season, son. You know what I mean?
I can't. It's just it's not who I am, and it's not who we're gonna be.
Yeah, man. And you can see that. That's how it looks to me, and I think that's what's slowly circulating in that building. You know.
Yeah.
So I like what the defense showed us, man. I like that they went man most of the scrimmage. You know what I mean?
I like that too.
I like the games that were played up front, but we knew that coming from Coach Guidry. We knew that. The games that he played up front, yeah, buddy. You know what I mean?
There was a thing I pointed out to you during the game when we were watching it, and I was like, the defensive line is doing like this. They're setting their hands like almost like right before the snap. So it looks like an extra movement, right? So they're getting up to the line because you don't know who's gonna go down. Basically, is how it's supposed to be. Yeah. And I thought that was crazy. We were watching the game. Obviously, look, it's just Canes fans, a couple thousand people. Everybody was quiet because everybody's watching it with intent. There was the time when I heard the players talking to each other on the field, and I was like, hey man, I think that was just Caleb Spencer that yelled. You know what I mean? That whoever he was yelling at. I told you that's my thing, like communication. But like
Yeah.
if that's happening with a freshman, Cam is talking.
Yeah.
James ain't playing had the no contact jersey the last like 3 or 4 practices. But James is gonna be talking. I liked what I saw. I really liked what I saw out of Markeith. Gave me some questions that we're gonna have that we'll cover during this off season. That ain't really the off season because of the portal and commitments and stuff. But yeah, man. All right, let's get into this Caneswear ad. Shout out to Caneswear, man. That's family, and then we'll finish off with these fan questions. Let's get it.
Yep.
Welcome to Caneswear. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has all latest merchandise for the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Inter Miami Soccer, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of I-595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Hey, man, we got to give it up to Caneswear, man. Got to give it up to Caneswear, man. Shout out to them, man. Look, we set up. We got there. You know what I'm saying? We set up the best we could. We made some things happen, man. Brett was very appreciative for the work we did with them, man. And I told him, we're not done, man. We're just getting started. Like this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship, Brett. We gonna make some things happen, man.
Yeah, they got their grand opening at the new store. I think he said in June.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think he's gonna try to have something special going on then. Hopefully I can make it down. We can make it down for that, man. So.
Yeah, man. We're trying to make some things happen, man. Look, man, thank you for everybody who watched the live. Jeff and Brett went out of their way, man, above and beyond, man. So thank you so much. So the key word for today, man. Look, we didn't do a pod last week, so we starting fresh. All new numbers, man. The key word is gonna be Caneswear, man. They, they deserve it for that, man. Like they did so much for us, man, and they trusted us when, like we just starting out. So that's the people who you rock with, man. When you ain't got the shine, when you're not the big one, and people still rock with you, man. That shows a lot of quality in what you're doing, man. And Joe, you and I talk about it all the time, man. We know we're doing something, and the people are, rocking with us, man. And thank you to everybody, man. Shout out to Panhandle Kane. Shout out to, shout out to Cuban Kane. Shout out to all the people who started with us, man. When we weren't really even promoting it, we are just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Shout out to our boy CB, man, doing his thing, killing it on our social media. Shout out to Flo. Shout out to Ross. Shout out to AB. Shout out to everybody, man. Like it's a lovely thing when Canes come together, man.
Flo, thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you for the gems. Thank you for the gems, man.
That conversation that we had, man, has been reverberating in my mind since we had it, man. We definitely appreciate you talking to us, man. That was some real. I hit you up, man. I was like, yo, man, whatever. Hit me. That's that's what it is. All right, guys, let's get into this. You heard questions, man. Remember, Caneswear. Everybody in the comments, man. We back. Caneswear is the key word.
The word Caneswear, man.
All right, man. Let's go. We got this question for Pokane. Shout out to Pokane. My bad, we couldn't link up, man. It was crazy at the spring game. He asked, Young looks every bit like wide receiver 1. Between X and George, who's 2? And Ray will definitely be pushing for playing time. Now is two questions. Is Emery ahead of pace as far as development is concerned?
Okay. Yeah, man. So yeah, I think Kobe will take that one, and I think Jacoby George will be on the other side, man. And I think X will be in the slot. It looks like those 3 to me. Ray's definitely gonna get burned, definitely, man. I have I have the ultimate faith that Coach Dawson will scheme up a lot of things, man, for Ray and X as well, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know what he does with slot receivers. So
yeah,
you know what I mean? You got X, you got Ray, you could stick Bobby in the slot, Brashad still. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a lot of fun. But I think if we're talking about, just if you want to look at who's starting, you know what I mean? I'm gonna say Kobe Young, Jacoby George, and
Yep.
Ant.
Yeah. Jacoby George showed out, man. Jacoby George did his thing. I just thought about this literally right now. You think because everybody's like, oh, they still need a one. They still need a one receiver. Everybody's talking about it. I'm saying content creators.
Still need a
You
one?
think they? Yeah, everybody's saying like, oh, we still need a one. We still need a one. You think Kobe Young goes, oh, do you? Oh, you think you do?
Yeah, I
You know what I'm
think
saying? Like,
he's just a worker, man. Kobe Young is just a worker. He put his head. I saw him when I was on campus too. Matter of fact, but
big guy, huh?
yeah, man. He's just a worker, man. He's just a worker. You know what I mean? You could tell he's humble. You know, he comes from that. He comes from work. You know what I mean? He was at JUCO and came and just got to work, man. So he's definitely changed his body. He learned the position, man. So he's won. He's won.
He made some catches in traffic that we were lucky enough to be sitting on the side of when he kind of I think he ran like a slant, like a deep slant type of situation. You know what I'm saying? And like he caught it between the linebackers and the safety and the corner because the corner was like tailing him, and he just kind of took it. I was like, all right, let's rock. I was like, okay, because he wasn't doing. It was only 2 routes that he ran that year, so maybe 3. So I'll handle the second question, man. Yeah, I think I don't know if Emery's ahead of schedule with his development. I just think he was underrated where his development was. I think because he was in the Panhandle, he was a 3-star. Like you got to remember, he dominated at the Elite 11, but it was one of those things where like it seemed. Trying to be careful with my words sometimes. It seems like the Elite 11 turns to be political because like I don't know how like you could dominate all your shit, like all your competitions, and then like not move on to like the next round of however they grade it. I was like, wait, I won, but I'm not in.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying. So I didn't understand that. Like I don't think we really understood. Those who know, right? Like there's people who knew, but like I don't think as mass we really understood how far along Emery was. So because we saw it from the first day of practice, like he was hitting that wall perfectly. You know what I'm saying? He was accurate from the jump. So I just think we didn't, and we have to, man. Listen, if you still listening right now, and we know you are, shout out to other people. Stop about stars, fam. Like stars mean nothing. Stars don't mean like that's just somebody's decision on who you think you are. That doesn't mean anything. Emery does not come in and look like that because he had 2 weeks with Coach Dawson. That's not just Coach Dawson. That's Emery Williams. That's who he was.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah.
This is another question from Pope Kane, man. How do we feel about the offensive tackles?
Yeah, we touched on it a little bit early, man. Oh shoot.
My goal look young at times, and
Sampson
and Jalen Rivers.
Jalen Rivers, man, Jesus. Yeah, you know, Jalen Rivers, first time playing left tackle, man. He's been working at it. You know, he had good moments, he had bad moments. The young guys, same thing, man. Same thing. You know, it's a different speed. And, you know, keeping it a buck, like Maui Goa played at IMG. So he played against Jaden Wayne. He played against Ruben Bain.
David Stone.
Yeah. Sampson played in Massachusetts. You know what I mean? The competition, much different. You know what I mean? So, true, he's been here since December, January. So, he's seen it up close, but it's just different. So, they definitely flashed, you know. So, yeah, I feel very good about what's going to happen.
Yeah. I think it goes back to what we said before we got to this question. These next 4 months is where we start seeing that jump. Because by the time the season starts, they'll have 2 practice rounds, right? Like they'll have spring and fall. So they're going to be ahead of the game with that. Yeah. See what work they put in with their individual coaches and all that stuff during the summer. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's going to be important. But I feel good about it. in the sense that like we have more depth than we've had, but I wouldn't be mad if like in a perfect world, I know my goal is a beast. In a perfect look, I'm never play the freshman guy in that situation. Like I would prefer to have the depth. So
yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be some learning curve with both of them because, like you said, Jaden's never played that position, and Magoa is a freshman, and freshman's gonna do freshman shit. And I hope the fan base doesn't turn the way they do, and forget they're like, oh wait, he's only 19, and this is his first year playing college football.
Yeah.
All right, man. We got this question from Mike Cotto. Does Williams beat out Brown for the backup QB? I'm gonna just handle this real quick. No. I don't what? That's just sorry. Mike, no disrespect to the question. It's a solid question, fam. Especially after Friday. I get what you're saying, but my perspective, right? And my bias upon that question. Was that disrespect? You laughing like that was disrespectful. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying excuse me. Excuse me.
Bro, yeah, man. That's all right. That third time was fake. That third clear of the throat was fake. Somebody get this man a horse.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'm saying like it's not like I'm not saying this because of the JB11 perspective I have. I don't want a freshman to be their next man up. That's my perspective. I think JB11 got some experience last year that we need to be reminded of, and there's things that he brings to the table that can help us win games. And hopefully JB11 doesn't play because I want TVD to have a hell of a healthy year, ball out, and go to the league if we keeping it all the way a buck. What you think, man? I also don't appreciate you fake clearing your throat on the show, fam.
Need water, man.
Son, there's no water. The way that ice is ringing in there, there's no water in there, fam. That was fam. That's a fake clearing of the cough and a fake chug of water. Okay, a fourth one. All right. That's what we doing. That's what we doing.
Let me read the question one more time. Does Williams, let me see if I can see it. Does Williams beat out Brown for the backup QB at Mike Cotto?
Mm-hmm.
Anything can happen. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say it isn't. But yeah, I don't think we've seen enough for that to happen. You know, the spring game was a spring game, but they practice. You know what I mean? So we don't know what's happening in practice. You know, there's you know. So
Mario said it.
I haven't seen
Mario
it.
said
that.
Yeah. Mario said it after in his press conference. Man, he goes, it's rough that JB had such a rough game, if you want to put it that way, but that's not who you've seen all spring. So you know what I mean? That's a factor. Like look, man, he's still a young. It's his first full year at Miami. You got it. Like nobody comes in. You know what I'm saying? A finished product. Emory is not a finished product. Emory had. You know what I mean? Like we look at those two big plays. You know what I mean? He made the play that JB didn't. Yes, 100%. I'll give you that one. But that's more that skill set and those play calls are more to Emory's skill set.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So we'll keep it with that. All right. So last question. Shout out to Polk Kane just dropping some questions, man. We got to hang out. That's not too far from me, Polk County. All right, man. So supporter question: who are we getting, and who are we losing? Now, I want to let's handle the who are we losing part as far as, and I don't know if I want to do names, but some people need to go because some people are going to come in, and the numbers got to match up. There were some people that we saw that we won't say names, right? We saw them. You and I saw them because we saw everybody walking off the field that are G5, you know what I mean? Our G5 players. And shout out to them for sticking it out through the first purge. But the bodies need to look better in the fall. You know, there was people out there that I was like, I don't know how you went through all spring practice and still look like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how you went through off-season training program and still look like that. Like, if you have dedicated chefs, nutritionists, trainers, I guess I have the expectation that your body should look different.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that you should have abs if you're an O lineman or a D lineman, but if you didn't get a bunch of plays and you coming off the field drenched in sweat, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the bodies need to be different as a whole. So I'll say it like that. I don't know who's leaving, but there is going to be numbers got to go, numbers got to come in.
Sure. Yeah, I think I'm expecting, probably a wide receiver or two to bounce.
Yep.
Couple O linemen. I pretty much guarantee a couple O linemen to probably bounce.
Yeah, absolutely.
That may be it, man. Maybe a linebacker, maybe DBs, couple DBs. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm thinking like
expectation, and maybe a
put enough.
Yeah.
I'm thinking anywhere from like 5 to 7.
5 to 7.
Like, there's one clear wide. There's one clear wide receiver.
6 for 5, 6, 6, 8, 6 to 8. Yeah, around that range to me. Yeah, as well.
Yeah, I'm because I'm thinking 6 to 8 come in. Like like, I don't want to do the who we getting, because shout out to the bear emoji. You know what I mean? We see it.
Yeah, and that's something that we probably need to be careful with, right? There's people who shouldn't be transferring that are transferring, and we have to look at the reasons for that. You know what I mean? It's not just it's not just
snaps.
Yeah, if I'm the man, if I'm a freshman All-American or all-conference player, and I'm at a championship program, and I'm transferring something other than I'm not playing, there's something going on. You know what I mean? So as fans, we can't just be like, we need to get him because he's a 5-star captain. Nah, son, we got to look at if he comes in, what's that going to do to the locker room, fam? You know what I mean? We're going to go back to square one when it comes to cancer in the locker room. We don't want that. So
we have to be, you're 100% right, Joe. A hell of a point. We have to be mindful that this is while it was exciting on Friday, this is still a very tender, sensitive, fragile locker room.
Sure.
Where you just let go of a bunch of friends just left.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But like these, like, regardless of how you felt about them or whatever, these are friends. These people were friends, brothers. They went through shit together. They heard all of us talking shit. You know what I mean? Keeping it a buck. And you bring in somebody who's just like the guy you said you didn't want. It's a very delicate game, which is why I think Mario takes the time that he takes and took the time that he took this offseason hiring coaches, because his interview process and his background check must have been federal level. You know what I mean? Because he knows the issues that were there last year more than we will ever know.
Yeah.
We could speculate, we could rumor, we could, oh man, it was like this. I mean, now that we're learning how the sausage is made because we're doing what we do now and people are rocking with us. Yeah, man, you have to be very careful. Like, when you see a national championship team and that person wants to transfer, you have to have more questions and be like, oh, but he was on our national championship team. We should get him because he's transferring.
Sure.
Just take those seconds and be like,
yeah,
it's not that simple, fam. It's not that simple. Look, we got one more question, man, but we're gonna leave this for Wednesday because we didn't want to leave. This is shout out to our big homie, man, Panhandle Kane. It's a DVD question. We didn't feel it was right to have just like a throwaway conversation at the end of the show. I think DVD deserves more. I think we both agree DVD deserves more respect than just that, and talked about on a grander scale. You know, I asked Izubee about it earlier, but that was just to get the initial thoughts. But yeah, man, we're gonna tackle that conversation, man. Joe, my brother, what's up? What you got?
Nah, we good, baby.
Hey, man, it was a great time hanging out with you, fam. Like it felt like I was hanging out with my brother, man. That was dope, man. Like,
yo, shout out to Lance Leggett and the boiled peanuts, man. We was chopping it up with Lance at the end, man.
Yeah.
Shout out, man. He put me on. He put the New Yorker on to boiled peanuts, man.
You were tearing those bad boys up,
down,
man.
You know what I mean?
Look, I never had boiled peanuts before in my life.
Man,
just tearing them up, man.
Had my lip burning, man. You hit me with the barbecue. My lip was numb and all that. You know what I mean? So,
yo, man, shout out to Lance Leggett. That dude is big, fam.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember. Like he was thin. I'm not skinny. Like he was thin when he was here, man. That's a big dude, and he's not too far from me. I'm gonna have to hit him up, man. Shout out to those. Shout out to Taste, one of those boiled peanuts, man.
Absolutely. You know
what I'm saying, if it's Kane's family, you know we rocking with it, man. All right, guys, man. You know what it is, man. It's a You Heard podcast. Hey, shout out to Caneswear once again, man, and everybody who came out and showed love, man, and everybody that said what's up. Next time, just introduce yourself with your Twitter handle, man. Let us know your real name. Take a couple pictures, man. Let us know, because most of y'all got, you know what I'm saying, like thumbnails of other stuff. We don't know what y'all look like, man. Keeping it all the way a buck. You know what I'm saying?
Rolling up on us, man. Yeah, man.
It's something like that. The dude that when we're talking to Zubi, he's like, "Hey, man, big fan of the show." He was with his lady. Like, "Hey, man, hold up, man." Like, I almost had to I took my left ankle back. Like, hold up, what's about to happen right now? Yeah, we're not quite sure what's popping, man. So
shout out to Coach Jake Swally, man. We ran into Coach Swally, man, defensive analyst I think he's an analyst or a defensive assistant. Shout out to Coach Swally, man. He's a good dude.
Hey, man, shout out to Coach Field getting those steps in, putting in that work, fam.
Boy,
that man was
recruiting work hit different, buddy.
Son, he must have to change shoes. He burns through them so fast. Shout out to Coach Field, man. Yeah. All right, guys, you don't know what it is, man. It's that You Heard podcast, man. We'll be back on Wednesday, man, recording another one, man. We out of here, man. Peace.